This is Nicholas Bell with Ion Cinema, here to review Arrow Video's Blu-ray release of Killer Nun, which had a street date of October 15th. This is the second and unfortunately last film directed by Giulio Berruti, and I love this film. I bought it years ago. So Killer Nun became wrapped up in the video nasty movement in the early 80s, and so a complete release of it wasn't available until the early 2000s, which is when I happened to see it. And in short, it's a film starring Anita Ekberg, you know, the one who's dancing with the kitten in the Trevi Fountain in La Dolce Vita, who's a bit, dare I say, gone to seed as a nun who had surgery on her brain and became addicted to morphine, and kind of has some minor cries for help that are ignored, and she, you know, deaths end up occurring amongst the patients in the hospital she worked at. So that's basically the story, and it straddles the very thin line between giallo and nunsploitation. And this film was released in 1979, which was kind of, giallo was dying out and becoming hybrids with other genres, and nunsploitation would also die out by the mid-80s at least, which was a genre jump-started by Ken Russell's The Devils, which is an excellent film. Killer Nun is really very silly, and it's one of those few Italian films where the English dubbing actually works in its favor, and I definitely recommend watching this with people. It's got a really jarring score from Dallesandro, which is also a lot of fun. Ekberg is, she's a little Mila Jovovich, mostly Rebecca Gayheart, and I think she gives kind of a fantastically campy performance. She's assisted with Joe Dallesandro, the Warhol muse, who's kind of underutilized here considering the films that you might have seen him in. Massimo Serrato from Don't Look Now has a small part as a doctor that she screws over. And then there's Paola Mora, who was previously in Valerian Borowczyk's Behind Convent Walls, another nunsploitation effort, and she's who has to be naked the most in this. Lou Castel from Marco Bellocchio's Fist in the Pocket is in a small role as a crippled patient. I'd recommend watching this with people, and probably later at night when you're a little delirious and had a little bit of wine. I just think it's a very special film that is probably not as sleazy as it's marketed as, and definitely not as violent as some of the giallos you've seen. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, Alida Valli is the Mother Superior, you know, who was a Hollywood import in the 40s in the Paradine Case, Hitchcock's film, and sex scandal ruined her career here, but, you know, was in Luchino Visconti's Senso, George Franju's Eyes Without a Face, and had recently been in Argento's Suspiria. So she is in a very minor role, a very minor but entertaining role. I give this film, as far as entertainment value goes, 3 out of 5. As always, Arrow Video's releases, it's a 4 out of 5. Thank you.
Hey, this is Eric from MyOnCinema.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.